Good morning, students. In this lesson we are going to learn about three parts of speeches: pronouns, adjectives and adverbs. I hope that you must have done these in your previous classes also, but today we are going to study them in detail. So children, let's start this lesson without wasting our time. So first of all, we'll know what is a pronoun. Pronouns make up a small subcategory of nouns. Subcategory means subdivision. So they make a subdivision of nouns. The unique attribute or quality of pronouns is that they can be substituted for other nouns. Substitute means to replace. It means that they can replace nouns. That is why they are called replacing words also. For instance, if you are telling a story about your sister Sarah, the story will begin to sound repetitive and funny if you keep repeating Sarah over and over again. For example, Sarah is smart, Sarah has always loved fashion, Sarah announced that Sarah wants to go to fashion school. Did you see how funny it was sounding? You could try to mix it up, sometimes referring to Sarah as my sister. But then it sounds like you are talking about two different people. Let's do it to understand it better. Sarah is smart. Sarah has always loved fashion. My sister announced that Sarah wants to go to fashion school. Did you see? Here it is sounding as if I am talking about two different people. One Sarah and other one my sister. So children, what we can use that it does not change the meaning of the sentence? Yes, you guessed right. We can use the pronouns she and her to refer to Sarah. Let's do it. Sarah is smart. She has always loved fashion. She announced that she wants to go to fashion school. So now see, it's perfect. It's sounding clear and is giving fluency to a language. This is how pronouns work. So children, so far we learned that pronouns replace nouns. Pronouns means for a noun. But the most important thing that we have to keep in mind before using a pronoun is that it must agree with its noun in numbers, gender and person. It means that if in a sentence we have a singular noun, then it will take a singular pronoun. If it is plural, then it will take plural pronoun. If it is a male gender noun, then it will take a male gender pronoun. If it is a female gender noun, then it will take a female gender pronoun. In the same way, if it is first person, it will take first person pronoun. If it is second, then second person pronoun. If third, then third person pronoun. So in this way, it will go. Let us understand this with an example. John is smart. John always has a plan. Here in this sentence, John is a third person male gender noun because John is the name of a boy only, isn't? So we will replace John with a third person male gender pronoun only. We cannot make use of I and she to replace John, isn't? So we'll have to use he to replace John. It would be John is smart. He always has a plan. Children, there are 8 types of pronouns: personal pronouns, relative, reflexive, emphatic or emphasizing, indefinite, interrogative, demonstrative and possessive pronouns. But in our syllabus, we have only personal pronoun, reflexive pronoun, emphatic pronouns. So we will be studying in detail about these 3. As I told you before, the usage of a pronoun depends on noun's person, gender and numbers. So the personal pronouns are also based on person, gender and number. Personal pronouns are firstly divided based on point of view. Now you would be thinking, what is a point of view? Children, basically there are 3 points of view in English language: first person, second person, and third person. Let me explain this with an example. Imagine Shiv and Surya are in a room. If Shiv is telling Surya something about Tanya, who is not in the room, then in this case, Shiv is the first person, as he is the person who is speaking, and Surya is the second person, as he is the person who is listening to Shiv, and Tanya is the third person, as she is not present in the room but is present in the discussion. So let's see the example. Shiv says, I am telling you that she is very clever. Okay, so in this sentence, I is first person, you is second person, and she is third person. This is called point of view. Personal pronouns are then based on forms. Children, there are 2 forms, singular and plural. Singular is used if we are talking about one person or thing, and plural is used if we are talking about more than one person or thing. Personal pronouns are further divided into 3 types: subjective, possessive, and objective. Subjective is used for subject in a sentence. Words like I, we, he, she, who, they are subjective pronouns. Possessive are used to show ownership of a person in a sentence. Pronouns like my, mine, our, ours, his, hers are few examples of possessive pronouns. Objective pronouns are those which are used in a sentence as an object. Pronouns like me, us, him, her are some example of objective pronouns. Children, this table is going to help you a lot in understanding personal pronouns. As you could see in this table, subject pronoun, object pronoun, possessive adjectives, which are also called determiners, possessive pronouns, reflexive or intensive, which are called emphatic also, have been divided as per first person singular, second person singular, third person singular male, third person singular female, third person singular neutral, first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural pronouns. So these all are pronouns, children, and it has covered almost all the pronouns here, right? So if you study this table, it will really help you. Now let us move towards the reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Children, emphatic and reflexive pronouns are more or less same. Only their places in a sentence makes a difference. They are called reflexive pronouns when the action done by the subject turns back or reflects upon the subject. Let us see with example. I hurt myself. You will hurt yourself. He hurt himself. She hurt herself. The horse hurt itself. We hurt ourselves. You will hurt yourself. They hurt themselves. If you will notice, each of these reflexive pronouns is used as the object of a verb. Just see, object of a verb. I hurt myself. I is subject, hurt is verb, and myself is acting as an object of verb, right? And it is referring to the same person or thing as that denoted by the subject of a verb. Just see, my is denoting to I, right? Yourself is denoting to you. Himself is denoting to he. Herself is denoting to she. So they are denoting to the same subject, right? So they are called reflexive pronouns. On the other hand, emphatic pronouns put emphasis on the subject given, right? Let's take few example of this also. I will do it myself. I myself saw him do it. We will see to it ourselves. You yourself can best explain. It will be seen here that these pronouns are used for the sake of emphasis, right? So that is why they are called emphatic pronouns. Now you would be thinking how to create reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Children, it is very simple. We will use self or selves with singular and plural possessive adjective. You could see in the table these are possessive adjectives. The possessive adjective of I is my, we is our, you is your, he is his, she is her, it is its, they is their. If these words are followed by a noun, then they would be possessive adjectives, otherwise they will be possessive pronouns. Means if they are not followed by any noun, they will be called possessive pronouns. As you know that, children, adjectives tell us more about nouns. So whenever there will be adjective, there will be a noun also, right? Pronouns. I hope you understood this. So we were discussing how to create reflexive and emphatic pronouns. With first and second persons, we will simply add self or selves. For singular, we use self, S-E-L-F, and for plural, we use selves, S-E-L-V-E-S, selves. For example, my will become myself, our will become ourselves, your will become yourselves. But with third person, we will make it by using objective pronouns. As you could see, these all are objective pronouns. He will become him, she will become her, it remains it, they becomes them. So it would be him, himself, her, herself, it, itself, them, themselves, according to singular and plural form. Now let us see how to differentiate reflexive and emphatic pronouns. It is very simple. I will give you a simple trick. If it is used after verbs, then it is reflexive. And if it is used after a noun, then it is emphatic pronoun, because it is just emphasizing the noun in a sentence. Children, an emphatic pronoun can be removed from the sentence without affecting its core meaning. Means that if we are going to take out the emphatic pronoun also, then also it will hardly make any difference in the sentence, right? But a reflexive pronoun, on other hand, is vital, means very important. The sentence wouldn't make complete sense on removing the reflexive pronoun. Let's see this with an example. If I say, I will do it myself. In this sentence, if I am going to remove this myself, then it would be, I will do it. It's sounding nice. It is making sense. And see, let us see an example of reflexive also. I cut myself. If I am going to remove myself, then it would sound incomplete. I cut what? Okay, there would be a question mark. So this is how they work. Children, let us identify whether these sentences have a reflexive or an emphatic pronoun. I told you before that if a pronoun is followed by a verb, then it is reflexive, and if it is followed by a noun, then it is emphatic. So let's see. I cleaned my teeth myself. So before myself I have teeth, right? Teeth is a noun. So it would be, yes, it would be an emphatic pronoun. And the second one, she brushed her hair herself. So before herself, what word we have? Hair. Hair is a noun. So it is also an emphatic one, right? Then in third, they hurt themselves playing sport. In this sentence, before themselves, the word is hurt. And hurt is acting as a verb here. So if the pronoun is followed by a verb, then it would be reflexive. And fourth one, he talks to himself all the time. So talks to is a verb, then it would be reflexive. Children, now I hope you would be able to identify reflexive and emphatic pronouns.